Alright, yeah.
Alright, we good to go? Oh yeah, I see us streaming. Alright, let's you might have to change the title because it's let me mute the stream and set it to default view so I can look at the chat. Okay. So yeah, we're just chilling. Just chilling. Alright. I've got everything up and going, so you just
I've changed the streaming title.
good. I'll refresh and I'll see what it Alright. I guess we're gonna keep that gag going then.
Um,
That's great.
so you see, alright, don't care about that. I included the Discord talking, making no green circle thingies.
Yeah, I saw it. It's nice. It looks good. It looks good.
Because I
We
can.
got we got a nice walk down the snowy streets. We're just kind of chilling out, having a bit of a chatterino as we
Yeah.
have a
I
little
do
look.
I do wonder how the actual live streamers are they just, doing all OBS stuff and
Probably.
because I have no clue how they do it all.
Probably all just like OBS layers. At least that's what I'd assume anyway. But yeah, no, we'll just let the stream kind of go on, and we'll just continue our little chatterino.
Yeah,
Maybe we might have some people drop in.
maybe
Maybe, who
not.
knows? Yeah, it'll just be me and Ellie today, having a good old time.
Because
Uh,
we were talking about the VTubers and the Hololives and the
and
Lucy
the
Sanchez.
new, yeah, all the good stuff. Cause the new Hololivers came out. They seem pretty good. I don't have a whole lot negative to say. I think because I watched all the debuts. I think it was yesterday or a day ago. Just because I wanted to watch all the debuts,
Oh, wrong.
and I quite like I think the Australian one because she's clearly Australian or New Zealand. Don't know which yet, but one or the other. I think she's okay. A bit ditzy, bit airheady for my liking, but she's fine. Then there's the foresty chick. She's pretty good. She's gonna be ASMR focused because I recognized her voice right away, so I kind of already know who she is. But it's good. I'm glad she got a break, right? Got a big break, into Hollow Live. And I hope she does really well with it. I'll be interested to see what kind of ASMR content she ends up doing for Hollow Live. It'll be quite interesting. Then you have the Time Chick. Time Chick was alright. I think she's definitely got that Gap Moe thing going with the you know she's got the same kind of thing that Carly's got a little bit. So that's she's pretty cool. She's definitely got the boing boing. And then you have the rat. And the rat. Oh yeah, you have the owl as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
the owl one. I don't know. Everyone was going kind of crazy about the owl, right? Like everyone was like, "Oh, she's so cute. She's so adorable." And I'm like, "Well, she is, but I don't know. She's a bit overhyped, I think. A little bit overhyped. I think she was really nervous during the debut, a little bit. So, kind of, this is the thing, right? You have to kind of yeah, you have to kind of keep in mind that with a lot of these VTubers, the debut is obviously like the starting point, right? As they continue to stream, they tend to sort of kind of come into their own and find their like niches, right? Like let's take Hachima is extremely different now than what she was when she started, right?
Well,
So,
this is going to be Era
yeah, yeah, that's a
was
good
also
example as
very
well.
different.
So, so yeah, I like the owl. I like the design, and I think she is adorable. But I feel like people are overhyping her a little bit and being like, "Oh, she's so cute. Oh yeah, she's so adorable." So, she's alright. And then you have the rat, and the rat is, the rat is just, chaos. It's crazy. Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy. I mean, she's alright. She's alright. I think like the owl and the rat are probably my least. Like I'm least interested in those two than I am the others. But it doesn't mean they're bad. Just like for me,
I know
I
there was
found.
a big thing about, or not big thing, comparatively, of course. There was a thing
Mm,
about that the owl is supposedly a 4chaner.
there was some some conspiracies about that. I don't know anything about that, the
Nah,
validity
it
of that.
just
It could just be 4chan being 4chan.
apparently there is a post long deleted, of course, or not deleted, but long that says, "Hey, I'm going to do something, etc. It's going
Mm.
to be, I'll be still be anonymous, but I'll give you a hint. Amber from
Right.
Genshin," and then if you overlay the face of Amber and her hair, her feather tufts kind of look like the ribbons that Amber from Genshin has. And if
Mm.
you translate her name is apparently in English anonymous, anonymous. So
Well, we'll have to find. We'll have to see. We'll
uh,
have to see how it goes because like I said, maybe she'll drop some more, some dank memes on us. She'll drop some very based and red pilled little hints here and there. Maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Um, but yeah, other than that, no, I thought they were pretty good. I think it's an interesting batch. Um, I think that there's a little bit less hype around this one because I remember when you're not supposed to call them Gen 1 or 2 anymore because even Hololive themselves said they're not doing that with them. Like the first batch, right? When the first batch came out, there was a lot of hype because obviously it was the first EM batch of Hololivers, so there was a lot of expectations and kind of people that were either doom posting about it, being like, "Oh, they're going to be terrible because E and VTubers are terrible," blah 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 blah, right? And then other people that were like cautiously optimistic, and then ended up getting, you know, their expectations surpassed because the expectations were quite low, I think. But now that we've had that first batch and we kind of know what to expect, I feel like this time around there's been a little bit less sort of fanfare around it, which
yeah,
which
there
is
was also when in the meantime Niji Sanji came with their first and second gen.
mm,
So,
really quickly too. Like first and second gen of the Nijizanji ones came out real quick.
but I mean,
Like,
there's already a new Japanese gen in between the two English gens. So
mm,
Nizisanji is, I'm not going to say quantity over quality, but it doesn't shy away from having a lot of people.
mm, mm, yeah, it's yeah, the way Nijisanji, like the differences in the business model and the differences in what they allow the talents to do is very fascinating. And it's good because it means there's competition in the field, right? So and people can have different, tastes for different things. I will say I am definitely watching a lot more Niji Sanji lately than I am the Hololivers because Jesus Christ, Fanana. Like goddamn, like Fanana is like my spirit animal, dude. Like she is like totally like just the the total lewdness of that girl. The perversion going on is off the charts. I swear she's gonna do a proper, like, gonna be the one to push for proper hentai streams. Like that shit's gonna be great. Or should I say, anime 2? Gonna get.
I kind of like
Anime,
that. That it's
anime two,
euphemism.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna do anime two streams. She's gonna pull out the electric toothbrush.
And lay some eggs.
Yeah, lay some eggs. Fucking goddamn. Find
Fertilize the
some find,
soil.
find some condoms in the ocean. I fucking love her, man. She's so
Yeah.
good.
And
She's so
remember,
fucking good.
if you remember, her debut was regarded as a total disaster.
Mm, mm.
Because
Yeah, no.
apparently her Fat Life or some kinky bullshit account site
Oh yeah,
got hacked
yeah.
or whatever. So
Yeah, everyone found all the kinky shit. Yeah.
and then yeah, they that got found out, and then her debut stream was only like 5 minutes maximum,
Mm.
which is from what I was told, not that uncommon for Nijisanji, but
Yeah, I
Hololive.
think I think all of the girls kind of I think what they do is they have like just a quick like 5 or 10 minute thing where they just kind of rush through like all the information and then they will do like a stream afterwards or something. That's what I kind of noticed from like the new batch of Niji Sanji Ian, where it's like they'll just have like here's like a 20-minute stream where I'm just gonna be like, okay, here's what I like, here's my stuff, right, whatever, and then afterwards they'll do like a post kind of chat with the chat kind of stream, rather than doing like this whole big giant like debut thing, whatever. Which again, it's just another little difference I think between the two companies that I find quite interesting. Hello, Kingfish, or Harvey Long. How you doing? How you doing today? Yeah, we
Nice.
have people in the
And
chat. We have
well,
people in the chat, Ellie. Holy shit!
it's working.
It's working. Yeah, we actually got the straight there. So yeah, I think that's interesting. The other interesting difference, I guess, is also the fact that man, the Hololive is really pushing the lore. Like they're really pushing the whole deep lore aspect this time around. Where they're
Yeah, I
being like
mentioned it
they're
in
like the council.
I
Yeah.
mentioned in chat before, but it's really big Chuni Bio. I am the embodiment of nature. I am, you know,
I kind of don't know how to feel. Like I do like a lot of that deep lore stuff sometimes, but I think in this case it feels a little bit forced. I prefer it when it's like natural, like Hato, right? Like Hachima, like her and her whole like multiple personalities, deep lore stuff. Like that's all kind of organic because she came up with that herself, right? So
yeah,
I prefer it when it's like the talent or the fans kind of take something and run with it, rather than corporate is like, okay, so you guys are going to be like the council, and you're going to be like the embodiments of these different concepts, and it's going to be this big thing where you're going to be like this, and we're going to have the manager all be like, God and Omega, and have their own Twitter account and shit, and like,
yeah, because
I'm just, yeah,
it's also rather grand, isn't it?
a little bit, yeah.
All of
Like,
nature, all of civilization.
I can't like Hololive Myth, right, which was the first batch, right, with Kali and because I mean you had like a Grim Reaper, you had like the kind of like a Lovecraftian thing, you had the time traveling detective, like these were all kind of like there was a little bit of lore there, but it wasn't like in your face, right? It was just kind of like, hey, she's a raper and she raps. That's cool, It wasn't like she is literally the embodiment of all death and she's whatever, right? And I think that, yeah, I don't know how to feel about it yet. I think I'm gonna have to wait and see how it kind of plays out and if they do anything with it, because, yeah.
Yeah, if I mean, there's so many
Oh yeah,
Nijisanjis.
yeah. Yeah, the law stuff seems a bit overboard, but Komi's clock halo is pretty rad. Yeah, that thing's pretty cool, man. That thing spins and shit. She's got this like little clock on her on the back of her head that like spins and does stuff, and it's pretty cool. People were memeing about on Twitter being like a helicopter. She can like fly
You
using the
mean it
clock.
isn't?
Well, I mean, she herself slipped that it was a helicopter, so
Ah, well,
yeah,
you see,
pretty good.
nah. No, because if we were going to compare to Nijisanji again, I don't recall any Nijisanji member being the embodiment of an entire concept.
Well, yeah, because the Niji Sanjis are more kind of like
People.
yeah, a little bit. Like they're more
Well,
streamery type, and they're also a bit.
Chaika is a cute fairy,
Hmm.
and
I mean, Finana's a mermaid or whatever, right? Like a fish thing. So there's a little bit of, like, again. It's. I feel like it's better when you have like that kind of stuff be like molded by the actual talent and have like just the avatar be kind of like the starting point. If that makes any sense, right? Where it's like, okay, you're a mermaid, but I'm a lewd mermaid. You know what I mean? Also, someone's asking for the source of your profile pic.
I have no idea. It's Nanako from Violated Heroine.
I think it's just like some base art, like because I've seen it before. I've seen
Yeah,
like that
I
before.
just wanted to show Chaika, the cute fairy that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. The cute Fury. The He-Man. The He-Man one. The He-Man one. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
That unironically seems like something he'd do. Yeah. Yeah, Niji Sanji's great for that kind of
it's
stuff. Oh yeah,
funny.
there's the Joker guy as well. He's pretty
Oh
funny.
yeah, the Rick, Ricky, Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty funny, all right. Well, you
Mm.
call him Joker. And I know
Yeah.
he mentioned stuff like when there was kind of a mini wave of foreign interest in him. They called him Joker, and he was like, they stopped doing that years ago. Where? Oh, it's probably some other guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So
He's
yeah, there's VTuber cast today. Yeah, we're just talking VTubers. We're just chilling, just vibing. Uh, so yeah, yeah. So that's yeah. The new batch for Hollow Live, definitely interesting. I'm following all of them, so I'll keep an eye on like what they're up to, and yeah, I'll see which ones I end up kind of watching more than others. Uh, we'll kind of see how it turns out. I definitely know the nature one is definitely going to be a much watch. Much watch. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of the VTubers have really good dojins. I know that the Niji Sanji, there's a lot of artists that do a lot of good Niji Sanji stuff. I
mostly
see on
just
Twitter a
images
lot.
or
Yeah, just artworks in
one
general.
page comics or 2 page.
Yeah. Did you see that? Have you read that? What is it? The Anji one, where it's like set up to be like an NTR story, and it turns out that they're all just like alchemical constructions by her.
No, I haven't.
Oh, that one's great. I might link it to you because it's actually really funny. Because so it's set up to be like an NTR where she has like a boyfriend, but then she gets like it's NTR, right? But
Hmm.
then at the very end of it, it turns out that it's all just her, creating like alchemical constructions to play. And it's fucking funny. I'll
I,
see
w-
if I can find
I
it.
just wanted
It's
to
great.
share this other costume of the same fairy of the forest.
Oh yeah. This Oh yeah, yeah. He's got the mech. He's got the mech one. If you,
Yeah.
I saw the clip where he's at the beach and he has to use his hair to cover his nipples, otherwise they're too bright. So that was pretty good. Oh man, I'm gonna have to try and find this bloody dojin.
Oh
Might take
no.
me a minute. It might take me a minute, because I have to sift for a whole bunch of nonsense. Um,
Yeah, other like I could talk a lot more about Niji Sanji because there's so many more people, so many more
mm,
relationships, and there. I mean, do you if you know Aras Marman,
oh, yeah, name sounds
Big
familiar.
Face, also known as Big Face. She's in like a couple of groups. She's in blues with Maizumi, a hacker, and another
Mm,
girl. She's no, she's tangentially related to some, not related, but in grouping with another group of girls, gamers, I think. She's in Nijisenshi Gamers, kind of inherited because that group is disbanded and absorbed into Nijisenshi proper.
mm,
And yeah, you have just a bunch of different combinations, and they all have their own names. If you collab with somebody for a third time, you two together get a collab name, and that's how it is.
mm. Oh, getting a
Also,
ping.
their show is pretty good. They have multiple
Mm.
shows, but the Gacha Lever Daipan, where they basically just interview their own employees, their colleagues. Shibayama, some guy in
So
a.
there's two different English translations of this dojin that I found. I'll uh I'll I'll do two things. Cause I can use good old in hentai to plop that over there, and then what I can do is I can do I'm just gonna oh no, oh no, I slapped my keyboard. Oh no, I hit some numbers on my keyboard. Oh no. Oh, that was an accident. People in the know will figure it out. So yeah. It's interesting stuff. I follow the Niji Sanji. I think is it like a weekly thing that they do that channel
Yeah,
does where they do like a weekly kind of digest type thing where it's like, oh, here's a bunch of really funny clips that happened this week.
yeah.
That's pretty good stuff. I would recommend if people were like looking to get into Niji Sanji stuff, that's actually a good place to probably start because you could just kind of watch that and be like, oh, I like that talent. I might go follow that talent. You know, because that might be a real good idea. Because there's a lot to like of the Niji Sanji crew, and it's interesting because I feel like I don't know, because it's weird, because you wouldn't say that Niji Sanji is like, overshadowed, right? Like, it feels like they're, like, both Hololive and Niji Sanji are both pretty well in competition with each other in a sense. Where they're like, it's not like, oh, Niji Sanji's just this small little outfit that's not really and Hololive is the big leagues, It's kind of like, they've both got their own kind of slice of the market, almost.
Well, it's also like Nichi Sanji is still bigger than Whole Life, so even that.
In a sense, yeah. In a
I'm
sense,
pretty.
definitely.
I was last I heard is that Nichi Sanji is started earlier and has a bigger market, more money.
Fucking. So there's also other groups. There's other VTubers I've been watching lately.
Yeah,
Have you
your
have you have
forms.
have you been converted to the cult of Pipkin Pipper yet?
Who?
The Alex Jones bunny. Have you have
No.
you have you heard the word of the great Pipkin Pipper, the great bunny? Pipkin's great. She's fucking hilarious, dude. So she's part of Phase Connect, which is like it's one of those like smaller indie outfits that's kind of popped
Mm,
up recently. Because there's like Phase Connect and I think Prism Project and a few others that are kind of like these sort of little sort of outfits, and Pipkin Pippa is like, I
Voms
know,
is a well-known one.
Yeah, Voms is a well-known one, yeah. But Pumpkin Pippa is this like energetic pink bunny that spews a lot of really spicy stuff, right? Like really like stuff like there's this one really funny clip where she's like she's like going on about like the chlorine, what is it, the carb, oh, what is it, the fucking fluoride in the water, the sodium fluoride in the water turning the frogs gay. Going on about all this like Alex Jones level stuff for like shits and giggles. It's great. I can't. It's hard to describe it, but it's actually a really good act, being like super edgy. But she's also really wholesome too. So
Yeah, I don't know
like,
her that well. I mean,
I'll grab some clips for you to watch later. They're
yeah,
pretty good.
just post them around and I'll see them
Yeah,
eventually.
I'll chuck them in the thing. I want to find the one. Where's the one which was like she's talking about someone in the chat asks her how can I get my virginity back? And she's like, the only way to get your virginity back is to pick up a card game. You have to pick up a card game. You have to pick up like Magic the Gathering or the Pokemon trading card game. None of that none of that Hearthstone shit. It's got to be a real card game. And she does a lot of stuff like playing Roblox and stuff with like fans and stuff. It's great. It's great. Yeah, but Pipkin's great. Oh man. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
one of the best ones was she was doing a stream with another member of her thing called Tenma, and Tenma is like
Tiger.
this no Tenma is like it's I don't know, she's like a fox girl. But
Mm.
it's like a Japanese looning Japanese stream, right?
Ah, okay.
And Pippa's like, what's the difference between kimchi and kimochi? And-
Kimchi is food.
yeah, it's good. It's a good clip. It's a really good clip. So yeah, I'd recommend going and watching that. Yeah. Everyone's reacting to my look, guys. Look, I just slapped my keyboard accidentally and posted some numbers. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Yeah. So yeah, I'd check them out. I'd check Face Connect out because a lot. I was watching. Tenma also had like a PC building simulator stream where she watched that horrible Verge. Um,
Um,
Have you ever seen that Verge how
yeah.
to build a PC video? That's cursed as shit. And she's watching it and she knows nothing about computers, watching people that do know about computers react to it, and she's just like, "Yes, angry man. Yes, tell me more, angry man, about how this man is a dumbass." It's great.
You know, I just heard about it now or today. There is this more moderately known any tuber YouTuber who
Mm.
apparently wanted to build a PC. So
Oh, yeah, that would be Super Eye Patch Wolf.
I think it
Uh,
was.
yeah, Naretsu did nothing wrong. Damn straight. Yes, it was Super Eye Patch Wolf. So I watched that video and it was very, very painful. It was very painful.
Because what I heard of it is was that he didn't know anything about computers or building one, so he went to Dell to buy a
Yeah,
pre-made computer. Then he, without asking people who know about computers, because he thought he said, "Oh, I know enough about computers. I use one every day." Then it he the computer he got didn't work or didn't function properly, so he
okay. So
went to Dell.
I'll
And then six
here's
months passed since he before he asked for help.
so here's the rundown, right? Oh man, I'm gonna have to get a drink soon because my throat's going out. So here's the basic rundown. So you're pretty much right on the start, right? He wanted a new computer for his video editing and to do like maybe some mild gaming on, right? So he's like, "Oh, my current computer is a Dell pre-build, right? Like that's what he currently had.
Hmm.
I'll just go onto the Dell website and I'll just buy a computer, right? Because he thinks, just go and buy a computer. Little did he know that it turns out Dell sells a number of computers, number of pre-builds for a number of different work cases, right? And it just so happened that the one that he brought was completely ill-suited to what he wanted to do because it was
Heavy
a
CPU use.
well, yeah, because what he got was basically a computer that's designed for like CAD usage in like a fucking like office building, right? Like it was a computer that's designed to be like part of like a multi-connected like thing. What's his name? Plot was trying to explain this in the chat once, in another server that I'm in. Because Plot's like a PC guy, and he was trying to explain like it's like no, he brought like the completely wrong type of computer for what he wanted, and um he spent like fucking like 2,000 euros or something on this computer, right? And he's thinking like, oh, it's expensive, so I mean, like, it has to be good, right? And then he gets it, and then it's not good. It's not good for a number of reasons. The first reason being that it didn't come with a Wi-Fi card, so he didn't think to just, I don't know, put a fucking infinite cable into the computer, right? Like, oh, yeah, doesn't have a Wi-Fi card. Oh, well, okay. This is gonna sound really weird, and I actually have to see if I still have this lying around because I should still have it somewhere, but I haven't like seen it anywhere in a while.
I have a
I
Wi-Fi.
I have a fucking like 10-meter long fucking Infinite cable somewhere that I just have wound up, and I sometimes I like if I'm going like somewhere like and I'm like, oh, I don't know if the Wi-Fi is gonna be good. I'll just take that fucker with me, right? Like I'll just take that fucking infinite cable with me. This fucking giant like wheel of infinite cable. And I'll just take it with me. And I know that probably sounds really weird, right? But it's fucking useful to just have a giant infinite cable lying around because what happens when the Wi-Fi is not working, you know? And this was a situation that our boy Super Eye Patch found himself in. He found himself in a situation where he's like, oh, I can't connect to the internet, and I can't download the drivers for the computer because,
Yeah.
which is weird because you'd think that Dell. Because see, the sad part is like some of the stuff is self-inflicted on his part, but some of it is also the fact that he chose Dell because Dell's shit, and you shouldn't be choosing Dell for anything, right? If you watch Gamers Nexus, they've been doing a lot of really good videos on pre-built computers, and even if he got like an Alienware PC, which is a Dell brand, still would have probably been shit.
But
Right?
I have a monitor, a 1080p monitor that I bought like 10 years ago, and it's still a monitor that I use because it's still working just fine.
Yeah, yeah. I have the same kind of setup. Like I got these two monitors.
I am a
Uh,
proud owner of a Dell monitor because it never has failed on me in the 10 years that I have it.
like some Dell stuff's fine, especially the older stuff. But like newer Dell pre-builds,
All
nah.
right,
No, no, no.
now
Like
experience with those.
Specifically the pre-builds, yeah, specifically the pre-builds. So he gets this computer right. It doesn't have what he wants in it. He also made the mistake of choosing not to get an SSD in it because the Dell website didn't like because you can choose like the configuration,
Yeah,
right?
years ago I bought a pre-made Dell PC, and there's some pick this one and it will cost 100 more, but you'll
Yeah,
have like 10 more gigs in your
because he
RAM.
wanted to get an SSD in it, right? He wanted to get an SSD in it so it can go zoom because he thought like because the computer wasn't running well, right? And he
Hmm.
thought the reason it wasn't running well was because he had a hard drive in it and not an SSD. Little
Could
did he
be
know
a reason,
it could
kinda.
be it could be a reason, but But he's like, oh no, I don't want just any SSD. I gotta get an M.2 SSD, right? But the computer doesn't have an M.2 slot, so
Um,
he has to get like this adapter, right, from Dell. Like Dell sell like for 200 more euros. He's gonna get this adapter from Dell, Ellie, that allows him to put an M.2 in. And he gets like an M.2 and he gets like a new SSD and he's trying and the long story short is it just doesn't work out for him, right? Because it doesn't work because he's brought a computer that's not actually like designed to like use normal people components, right? It's designed to use specific like CAD related bloody like components, right? So long story short, it becomes this massive mess that spans like an entire year because he's like going back and forth with Dell's tech support and trying to sort this out. And then like he gets rung up by like he describes it as like the fixer or something because he's over dramatizing it to the point where it becomes cringe. And this is like Dell's like highest of the high customer support thing because Dell's realized, wait a minute, this guy has like 1 million YouTube subscribers because he's been talking about it on Twitter, and
yeah,
Dell's probably like, oh fuck,
we got an
oh.
idiot. We got an idiot here who's saying he doesn't know what he's doing.
He's tarnishing the brand because he's saying Dell's shit, right? And I mean Dell is shit, right? But it's
Well,
like, you know,
for
but
other
you know,
reasons.
when I say Dell shit, right? When I say Dell shit, that doesn't mean anything to Dell. But if we had like fucking 2 million subscribers on YouTube, that's gonna mean something to Dell, right? You know what I mean? Um, so in the end, right, the moral of the story, right, is don't buy a Dell pre-build, right? Go ask a friend who knows about computers. Hey, what should I get in my computer? What should I do? You know, what would be the best thing to do? And then you go on to PCPartPicker.com, right? And you get your friend to build you a computer within your budget, right? And then you just get all the parts. And then you know what I actually do? I have a local PC like place that'll do like builds for you, right? So if I want to get something done, I'll just go there. I'll just be like, hey, I'll pay you like however long it takes for you to just put this fucking thing in it. All right. So, you know, like there are plenty of ways that the situation could have been resolved quite quickly, but he kind of dragged it out quite significantly. And it's one of those things where it's weird because I mean, I would want to do a video on it, right? Like a pulls on point on it,
Mm.
but it's such a long video, and we often have that problem where it's like, you know, maybe that's what these live streams can be for. We could just talk about videos that we don't end up covering, right?
For whatever
Because
reason.
yeah, for whatever reason. Because a lot of the time we'll get sent like videos from people, or we'll get like, oh, Nuretsu, here's this cringe VTuber video from Anime Mad, or like some random like
Well,
channel or
Manamet
whatever.
keeps it under 10 minutes. It's more like
Yeah,
Mother's
yeah,
Basement
it's
or somebody else.
Mother's Basement or someone else. Yeah, we'll get these videos sent to me, and I'll be like, oh god, it's a fucking hour long video. Because man, we covered the normality shit on the After Dark channel. There's the trailer for that on the channel, right? To send you to BitChute where we uploaded that, and they ended up being like 6 or 7 hours because it was so long. It's so dense, right? So yeah, we've been trying to like find videos that are a bit shorter so we don't
Yeah.
have to
That's
spend
why
so
I
long.
wasn't any part of it, because I refused, because I knew it was
Yeah,
going to.
Ellie was like, no, I am not. I can't. And you're probably for the better for it. Now we
Yeah.
have a question in the chat, which don't worry, I did notice your question, but I was ranting about Eye Patch Wolf. Is an integrated graphics card okay for gaming? Depends. Very much depends. I think Gamers Nexus has done a few videos about this recently. Go subscribe to Gamers Nexus because they do really good. If you want PC content, they're the guys to follow because they do really good stuff. But they did some videos recently because right now, with obviously the silicon shortage and GPUs being hard to find, not scalped for like insane amounts of money, right? There's been a little bit of a push for people buying kind of gaming rigs that have just integrated graphics on the CPU, and then using that until they can acquire a card from somewhere, right? So I wouldn't like advise using integrated graphics because obviously a graphics card itself is always going to be better, right? And if you're on a gaming laptop, that's just, I mean, you're going to be using integrated anyway, and that all depends on what kind of like chipset you got, right? Because some laptop chipsets are better than others. Although it would be ill-advised to get a laptop for gaming, honestly,
You
if
know,
that's what you're like asking about.
I do like buying a gaming laptop because in my experience or my what I feel like anyways, they last longer than a regular one.
Mm. I haven't had that. Well, I mean, I buy ThinkPad, so I don't have that. I have an old ThinkPad T470, I think it is. I think it's the T470. And that thing is like built like a fucking brick, so I don't have that problem.
I have
Um,
I think it's fairly light and it's silver colored. It's MSI with the one with the dragon shield with the
oh
dragon
yeah.
on it. It's silver. It's silver colored. The other variant was red and black, and I didn't want
Mm.
to be all gamer like.
Well, you mean it doesn't have RGB all over it?
No, it doesn't have red black uh, colors and then an RGB rainbow all on the sides and backwards and flipped over. No,
Mm.
it's
Mm.
I have the and it can do games. It can run something like Crusader Kings 3, and that's
Mm.
because I'm not going to play something like Apex on it.
Yeah, like uh, I don't advise gaming laptops outside, like specifically for gaming, right? Because the thing with gaming laptops is they actually tend to end up being better for like other things just because of the power that they get. But the problem that you have, right, is if you're spending like the amount of money you spend on an actual gaming laptop, you could have just probably gotten a desktop computer that would have run significantly better anyway,
Thing
right?
is, I
And
already have a
that's kind of the problem.
I have a PC with the 390 graphics card and all that.
Yeah, yeah, you've
So
already upgraded to the beef PC.
the
You got beef
beefest,
PC,
the beefest.
beef beef PC.
So, but you
Uh,
know, I bought my laptop, of course, now 3 years ago by now or something. But it still runs fine, and it still runs the games that I
hmm.
wanted to run. And I don't think that would have happened if I bought a standard laptop 3 years
Oh
ago.
no, oh no, 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 dude. I get you, I get you. It's just I'm talking, like, it all kind of depends on your use case and
Yeah,
what you're doing with it.
the laptop isn't going to replace my PC. It never can,
No,
never will be.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people have the wrong impression, I think, and that's why I'm like, look, if you are gonna get like hardcore into gaming and you're not like mobile, right? Like you're not on the move, you don't want game. I mean, of course, now you could just buy a Steam Deck if you wanted to.
No,
If you
not
wanted
yet,
to,
at least.
not yet at least, but I mean, in the future, right? If you wanted that same portable experience, I guess. But yeah, if you're not like living like a nomadic lifestyle where you're constantly moving all the time, you're probably just better off getting you know a normal desktop than you would be getting a gaming laptop. You'd be more served. But yeah, but integrated graphics cards or integrated graphics, it all really depends on the chipset. I've heard that the newer Nvidia ones have been pretty good. And but that's the thing, it's the newer stuff, and you're probably going to be paying a shitload of money for that. So yeah, it all kind of depends on what you're doing a little bit. But yeah, go watch Gamers and Nexus. They do good stuff. Did you see their video on the gigabyte power supplies exploding? It
No,
was
not at
fucking
all.
okay. So part of the whole like the issue, something that's been happening on Newegg is so Newegg has all of these power supplies from Gigabyte, right? They're not selling. They just have like a warehouse full of these power
Oh,
supplies. So they're like, oh, okay. So if you buy like I don't know, like a 3070 or like a 3080 or a 3090 or whatever, right? Or like some other thing, you'll get like this power supply for free, right? Like, oh, you'll get these like if you're building like a computer, you can get this power supply for free. If you buy this part, it'll cost you less, right? So and so.
power
So
supplies ain't cheap.
yeah, power supplies ain't cheap, especially because that's the one part of the computer you don't want to fucking cheap out on, as we're about to get to, right? So they do this stuff, right? They get these deals, right? And then they start getting shipped out, and then all of these reports start coming in of, oh, my power supply caught fire. Oh, my power supply exploded. Oh, my power supply just like fried, right? And so Gamers Nexus is like, oh, what? So they did a piece like over the course of the last like few months. They've done like an investigative piece where they brought like I think it was like 7 of these power supplies, right?
Mm.
And they tested them using like because Gamers Nexus has like all these really fancy testing
Yeah,
things
but
for
I
stuff,
suppose
right?
this is just a voltage meter that they use.
Oh no, no, no! It's more than that. Like they plug it into this machine and they run it at like a set voltage,
Yeah, yeah,
and they kind of
those.
push it, and they push it to like the edge, right? And then they like power it down, and then they do it again, like to power test it, right? To see how they hold up, and they actually got it on film. They got the power supplies exploding on camera in 4K, caught in 4K, right?
Oh dear.
Basically. It's fucking hilarious. It's actually really funny because you just see like there's one that they did because they weren't expecting it at first. So there's one where it's like the security camera footage of the guy, and the power supply just like sparks and like flames up next to him. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd watch that video. It's actually really interesting because they go into like, okay, so here's why it's a problem. Here's what's blowing up, where it's blowing up. Where it's a mechanical fault, right? It's not because we're pushing it all the way because they had one that they had done the test on, and then they pushed it to like 60% as like a testing thing, and it still blew, right? It blew after it had been pushed for like a day at 100 or something, right? So they'd like
Power
pushed it to the
supplies are
limit and then
supposed
powered it
to
down.
work basically at any voltage
Yeah.
because it doesn't. If your power supply is only used for 50%, it's only going to supply 50%. It doesn't care.
Yeah, a lot of power supplies also have a an efficiency curve where you actually probably want to run. That's why for my rig I think it's an 850 in my rig. I think I got the 850 because I mean I'm not using 850 watt voltage, right? I'm not using that at all. But there's like an efficiency curve where you want to be like around like 25 to 50% usage, right? And apparently it's kind of like there's like a depending on the power supply, there's like a sweet spot where if you get in that sweet spot, the power supply is running at like a peak efficiency. Whereas if you go too low, you're obviously not using it enough, and if you go too high, then it starts to become less efficient the higher you go, right? So
Hmm.
there's like a kind of sweet spot. So I brought like the 850 a while ago, I think it was like maybe a couple of years ago. I brought this one that I've got, like an 850 one. Um, and it also future proofs you as well because newer components tend to be sometimes a little bit higher voltage. So it's good to have like a power supply that's a little bit more than what you need, right? Like if you only need like a 400 watt, if you're only using 400 watts, and you can calculate all this on PCPartPicker.com. If you make a computer on PC Part Picker, it'll calculate like an estimated how much voltage the
Are you
computer
by
will
any chance
run.
sponsored by PCPartPicker.com?
No, no, I'm not. But it's a good useful tool. It's actually no, it is actually really useful, right? Because it helps you with that, right?
Nah, I'm
So
teasing.
you
You
can
just
yeah
mentioned
yeah
the
yeah.
entire website name 3 times in a row.
I know, but it's because they're good. It's because they're good. You go on there, you build your computer. It'll tell you, hey, you're gonna use like 500 volts or whatever, right? This is like our estimation. So you just buy like a 700 or an 800, right? And then you'll probably be fine if you do that. because you don't need too much. Like, you don't need to buy like a 1200 watt bloody power supply if you're not gonna, that's ridiculous. Like, you got to get the right power supply for what you're using. Uh, is kind of the gist of it, I guess. But yeah, no. So yeah, the eye patchful video was definitely interesting. Other than that, there hasn't been like too many other things that we've been sent that we're not like gonna cover because they're too long. We'll probably yeah. I don't know how much we want to talk about, because the thing is, we could talk about like stuff that we're planning to do, but because of how the upload schedule works, it's probably going to be like a month before it comes out anyway.
Minimum.
So it's yeah. So it's kind of like I don't know about that one. So yeah. What else is going on right now? I could have a look on Twitter and see if there's any fun drama for the day. Some fun drama. Let's have a little look. See here.
Twitter dramas, I don't care much. It needs to be special for me to care about Twitter dramas.
So I just got followed by someone called the Math Boulder, and their bio is sharing my journey to overcome my addiction to internet porn and work towards a healthier and happier life. A publication on Medium.
Huh?
Yeah. I assume this has to be some kind of bot or something, because it's like, if you're like suffering from porn addiction and you're following me, that's probably not a good sign. That's probably not gonna help a little bit, right? It's not. I don't think that's gonna be a good play to follow my account on Twitter if you have porn addiction. So we'll see how that turns out for him, shall we? Let's see what happens there. Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just scrolling in the very private Discord channel.
Oh yeah. Super top secrets Discord channels where we collaborate our totally not bully campaigns.
Yeah.
We're doing our secret gay ops, Sally. We're gonna do our secret gay ops.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of talk also just surrounding what we do and whatever. It's I am at the part where I gave all the individual elements of the layout that we use. Also, I made a graph of how long a video is compared to how long the recording will be. Do you remember that one? It's very funny because it's just a good old curve.
I think I might remember that, yeah. Yeah, because I've noticed that we tend to be like, it depends on like obviously how dense a video is, but we tend to be able to pretty easily figure out like, okay, this is going to be this amount. Yeah, bullying? No. Just critical discussion going on here. We're not bullying. We don't bully Anime Matt.
So if a video is about 10 minutes long, it will take in about an hour. Most of the time.
That's usually about right. Yeah.
If the video is an hour long, we did it once. We're going to skim through it and end up talking about it for 3 hours. A little bit less.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, more than 3 hours, because 180 is 3 hours and almost.
But yeah, Manime Matt shows up a lot because he has such wild takes. Like I think I don't know. So our four viewers watching right now, I don't know how entrenched in the deep lore you are, but if you have the time, you should go back and watch the Doctor Stone communism one that he did, because that's the funniest shit we've like we fuck. It's one of the clips in our channel intro where he's talking about like Stalin's rise to power and shit. Like that we lost our fucking mind. That shit was just wild. And that's why we like Manime Matt, because sometimes it'll be like a perfectly normal video, and then he'll just have like this one take. This one take that is so outlandish that it's crazy. It's just nuts. That's why we cover him a lot, because it's like he'll have a video come up and it'll be like, oh man, this could be interesting. Like I think is that one out yet? The VTuber one? I don't remember if that one's out yet, or is that one on the pipeline? Can't remember.
I don't remember.
Because
Maybe.
we had one that we had one that we did where it was like he was talking about VTubers. And he was trying to like relate VTubers to cars and Bitcoin or something.
I don't think that one is out yet, but
Yeah, it might not. There you go. A little preview for the chat for our four most esteemed viewers who are sticking around for us rambling on about random shit. You get a little preview of what's to come, because that was a really good one. That was quite funny.
because I kind of like the one where he talked about Isoken,
Oh yeah, the Isekin one too. Yeah, that was
where
really
he
good.
suddenly dropped that this anime could never ever have come from.
Man, our boy 6650. He is he has rewatched that video twice.
Oh,
The
good.
communism one. Good. We have some dedicated fans. It's good. You'll love to see it. You'll
Nah, it
love to
was
see it.
the Isoken one where he said that this show is an anime original because there's no way that this could have ever been conceived in any
Oh
other
yeah,
medium.
that's right. Yeah, I remember that. And then we find out it was based off a fucking.
It's a manga adaptation. It's an adapted
See,
from a
see,
manga.
that's why we love him so much, because it's like that's why we call him Wrong Man Bad, because he's wrong and he's bad. He's wrong, man. He's just wrong, and it's great. It's
It
funny. It's funny in how he's wrong.
it all started with Yojo Senki,
Yeah,
where he
yeah,
started,
yeah.
where he called it as maybe in hindsight, calling it World War II isn't the worst crimes he could have committed, but
Yeah, I mean, at this point, at this point, considering like how far he's come, right? Like at this point, yeah, that is like that is the most minor of infractions compared to the shit that he's done.
yeah. But oh no, six. Remember, he read Attack on Titan.
Yeah, he doesn't read the manga. Yeah, he doesn't read manga. I love the edit that someone made of that, where it's like, I don't read. It's a little bit disingenuous, but it's still funny. Where it's like,
Well,
I don't read. Yeah, he couldn't even do a basic Google search.
or
Yeah, it's
even look at the Mao or whatever. It probably
yeah.
should say
See,
that.
See, that tends to be a problem what we encounter with a lot of people, is like they just don't do like the most basic level of research, and then they'll go off on whatever. Like I mean, I don't claim to be some kind of expert on anything or whatever, but if I'm gonna be doing like an actual analytical video talking about like, I don't know, something, you'd think that you'd at least
Evangelion.
like, yeah, yeah, I know, right? You'd think that you'd at least, at the very least, if you're going to do a serious actual video, right? Like not like just a bunch of people on a like cast or whatever shooting the shit like we do, right? You would think that you would do at least a bare minimum level of research to go, hey, what is this about? What's was it adapted from something? Oh, cool. Okay, it was. I can adapt. I can put that in the script. Oh, yeah, it's a. Maybe what year did it come out? Which came first? And
Because my big isekai timeline image,
mm,
it's 90% is Wikipedia.
Yeah. Yeah, and
It's just
it's not.
It's just Wikipedia. Look up title. See in which year it was published as a web novel. See in which year it was published as a light novel.
Mm,
See in
mm.
which year it was published or adapted into an anime.
And then you
And
just compile that into a fancy timeline that's
and
got
then you
fancy
can already see
graphics.
the patterns, and that's enough.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. It's yeah, it's interesting. How that seems to be like one of the main things we encounter is we encounter people who just don't do research either because they don't want to because they're lazy or they don't want to because they're like disingenuous in it, right?
Or
Which is I guess is
presumptuous.
worse. Which is worse. Like if
Presumptuous
you're
is also one.
yeah, that's another one. Yeah. Yeah, because we've covered quite a lot of people on the show over the course of our man.
Oh,
How long we've been doing this for years now? At this point,
yeah,
we've been
almost
here. We've been
free.
here for a while.
Almost free, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. We're getting up there. We're definitely getting up there.
It all started
Um,
with my favorite topic of all time.
yeah. Yeah. The isekai video with slime
Yeah,
and
slime.
Gigik. Yeah, that was a class. That was an old one.
Should I restrain
Uh,
myself or should I continue
Yeah,
the trend of
I mean, we already know it's about slavery, Ellie. We kind of,
the imperialistic cultural imperialism?
cultural imperialism. I'm having a look at our backlog, and we have a lot of we have. Oh yeah, that's right. We have that E3 video from
Yeah, I
flipping.
think I decided not to do anything
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. We recorded the Nintendo cast. We did like a Nintendo cast, but I was I had gotten up at like what time was it? It was like fucking 4 in the morning or something. I don't even remember.
Uh,
But I was like I was super super flipping tired, right? And also, oh, we have a special guest in the chat, Ellie. Do you see that? Do you see who's in the chat?
yeah. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
was just thinking about my live hype live reactions when the new Metroid got announced to come out in like
I mean,
3 weeks.
you could always clip that out and just do that part.
Oh
'Cause,
yeah, but it is as exciting as Joe's live reactions. So,
mm. Yeah.
but without
E3 this year, E3 this year was pretty meh. So there wasn't
well,
like that's why we didn't really cover any of them because
well,
it
also
was I mean that
because I have a job and I couldn't be there for all of
yeah
it.
yeah there was Ellie had a job and then there was scheduling issues with like everyone else. So the only one that we could really like at least me and Ellie could get together to watch was Nintendo, and I was like super uninterested and just tired as shit. I was just like, yep. All right, that's pretty cool. I'm not interested in this, but it's pretty cool. Yep, yep. And that's pretty much the whole cast. Like my part of the whole cast was just like, yep. Oh, look, it's Metroid. Yeah, that's
I mean,
that's pretty cool.
I was still pretty hype, and one of the guy. I'm one of those who thought that they were going to skip Prime 4 and forgot that
Mm,
that Fusion was 4 already, and that makes perfect sense.
mm, mm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
for the rest, I thought E3 was fine.
I don't quite remember. I don't actually remember. Like this is the thing. I don't even remember any of it.
Well, I, look.
Which is part of which kind of tells you something, doesn't it? Like I don't actually even remember what was announced.
So you had uh, to run it down real quick from what I remember. You had Microsoft started out with Starfield, which was basically a CG trailer.
Oh yeah. They had the Starfield trailer that was kind of meh. They had a trailer for Outer Worlds,
Yeah,
two,
there was.
which was kind of funny. I thought that was kind of funny,
Yeah,
but
I think it skirted on the right line of being unfunny and at the same time, look how bad the thing we are doing is.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like, it reminds me of you know that really shitty comic about like, oh, we should improve society somewhat.
yeah,
Oh, but you live in it. Bottom text, right? That's kind of what it reminds me of, because it's like, yeah, they're mocking the industry. They're mocking what the industry is doing, but that's not going to stop them from doing it. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, we got people talking about JRPGs in the chat, which is good to see. It's good to see.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember a lot of the E3 this year. But the only thing I'm really like actually interested in right now, funnily enough, is Battlefield. Like that actually looks really good.
Oh yeah, Battlefield was
Um,
a no, yeah, was kind of a
no,
focus
no,
on.
that wasn't at E3. I don't think that was later. That was recent. They only
No,
announced that. No, I'm pretty sure they only announced that recently. I don't think 42 got a trailer. Like, I don't think the first trailer for 42 came out till like last month, like a month or two ago. I
nah,
don't think it was
that was the
E3.
creative mode. The custom map
No,
making
no,
was
no, no,
announced.
no, no, no. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the actual announcement of the game. I don't think that didn't happen at E3. That happened after E3.
I'm willing to look it up and be proven right or wrong.
You toss the dice, but I'll just talk about it then, because I watched that trailer and it was actually, I was like, damn, they are really trying to bring back like the Battlefield 3 and 4 people that they lost over 1 and 5. Like, it's very clear in the advertising that that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to like be like, "Hey guys, look, we got the Rune Zonk. We got like, you're gonna be able to attach a C4 to the dirt bike and drive it into the helicopter, and big boom. It's gonna be, dude, it's gonna be so net." And I'm like, I could actually get behind this a little bit because it's kind of endearing. It's kind of like they're being a bit self-aware and being like,
Alright,
"Yeah, okay,
I'm ready to
let's."
prepare.
Oh yeah.
Battlefield 2042 gets first gameplay at E3 2021.
Huh. Huh. Wait, what? When did they show gameplay? Wait,
So
what?
first it was at Microsoft. It was kind of a CG kind of thing deal.
Yeah,
Then later at EA's thing, then they showed
yeah.
gameplay. And later came the whole custom maps
I don't even,
things.
I don't even bloody remember. I don't even know. But what I do know is like 42 looks pretty hype, and actually since there was a Steam sale going on, I actually picked up Battlefield 4, and I've been playing Battlefield 4, and it's been pretty fun. I actually quite enjoy it. It's been pretty good. I found that quite enjoyable. So I'm kind of hyped for Battlefield 42. I think it actually looks pretty good, and I'm interested to see how it goes. I've seen some of the footage from the leaked playtests, and yeah, it looks a little bit rough, but it's an earlier build, so we'll see how it plays out. I actually expect it to be a bit jank, because most Battlefield games are kind of jank at launch. They tend to be quite there's always like something that goes wrong. So we'll have to kind of see how it plays out with
Yeah,
that one.
but just to finish my thoughts on E3, um, so yeah, Battlefield was also part of Microsoft's and E3 EA's things, right? Or is it UB? No, it's probably EA.
I don't know. I don't know.
Whatever. Um, anyway, you remember it kind of became a battle between Nintendo and Microsoft for best E3, and the winner
Mm,
is, do you like big games but CG trailers, or smaller games but they're out in 2 months?
yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
rather have at this moment have games that are out in 2 months. So
Yeah, because I've never been a fan of the whole oh, we're gonna have like a CG trailer, but the game doesn't actually exist yet. Like, I know EA is really notorious for doing that, where they'll have like, oh, I think Battlefront Star Wars Battlefront was one that they did that with, where they had like an initial CG teaser, like 1 year, and then the next year they had still no gameplay,
But then
just like
a tour of the office.
yeah, a tour of the office, no gameplay, just a tour of the office. It's kind of like guys, it still exists, guys. Guys, like totally still exists, guys. Like, come on, it's still a thing. And then like I think it took like 3 years or something until that came out, and I hate that shit. Like it's not like I want like, oh, the game's gonna be released like right now, you know. I just think that you should like start your hype cycle at least a little bit before the game's ready to ship, you know.
Well, it kind of depends though. If you can set expectation properly and kind of message that this games will be out in 5 years. Look at this cool thing right now, but don't worry. This is to show that it's alive, but not to show that it will be out soon.
Because the problem with that is you get situations like Cyberpunk. Is the problem with that.
I was more thinking of a good one is No More Heroes 3. Because you had the first trailer was guys sitting on the couch in front of the TV. Suddenly aliens attack. Guy transforms into robot. He flies to alien mothership. Armor pieces fall off, or robot pieces fall off. It's revealed it's Travis Touchdown, and he's back, and he does a move from the big console games, and it's coming out sometime. Then later, it has a 80s cartoon thing going on, and you have no idea what it is. Until suddenly it's revealed that it's No More Heroes. And then you're caught them, yay, No More Heroes!
Hey, yay!
And then it got delayed, and then it got a gameplay trailer first time proper about, and now you have something of a release trailer, and then that's it. So it still takes about 3 years, but first is I'm alive. Second is look how cool the concept is. Third one is gameplay. Fourth one is it's out tomorrow.
Yeah, so there's probably a way that you could do it, basically. Yeah. But what I hate is the way that I think EA and EA is my main example of that, where they don't like actually show anything. I mean, Bethesda could probably also be a case with the new Elder Scrolls. Like, they fucking announced that shit, like, what, 3 or 4 years ago? And they're like, it did not show anything. It's just like, yeah, we're just gonna not show anything at all, whatsoever. We're gonna announce it, like, 5 years away. And we're gonna not actually show anything. But we'll release Skyrim for the, like, 7th time, this time with fishing. So...
I still think that Nintendo is kind of the worst with Bayonetta, because that is not even a real mention of it. And Metroid Prime 4 was announced too early, but also production problems, which they've been very transparent about. So if Nintendo says we had to restart the whole thing, don't expect it anytime soon, that's a very good excuse for you to go, alright, I'll wait. It will be out for another 3 years at minimum.
Yeah.
Overall, Nintendo is, I think, one of the better ones on game show and release.
On that front. Well, yeah, because the Nintendo Directs are just good. Like, it's a good concept, it's a good idea, it's good that they do them, like, every so often, right? Like, just, hey, here's a quick little, update on all that stuff.
What I also very much appreciate from Nintendo is they don't, brush up the gameplay or anything. If it's going to chug on the Switch or anything, it's going to chug in the streams. They don't... Unless it's a
Yeah,
third-party trailer, then it's not going to show the chug. But if it's no Nintendo published or anything, if it's going to chug on the system,
it's
then it's
gonna
going to
chug.
chug on
Yeah.
in the trailers.
Man, I'm still disappointed that we haven't gotten the Switch XL yet. Because I mean, yeah, screen reef. I can see why people are disappointed because it's a the newer one is like, oh, it's just a screen refresh and a slightly better dock. It's like, oh god.
It's kind of funny though how everybody expects the thing, but there never was any real confirmation. But everybody works themselves up into a frenzy.
I think it's more it's expected probably because of how the 3DS went, and I actually have a theory that they're not going to do an XL specifically because they don't want to have a situation like you had the 3DS and then the new 3DS XL and whatever, and like one of them was more powerful than the other, and it meant that you'd have situations where you'd have games that would run better on one version than the other version, right? So you'd have like certain games that couldn't even really work on the older system. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's probably why we haven't gotten a beefed up Switch because they don't want to have that kind of situation again where you have people that don't have one or the other, right? Or like they have the lower end one and then they buy a game and then it runs like trash and they're like, oh, why does it run like trash? What do you mean it's for the new console? What do you mean? So I have a theory that that's why they haven't done like a proper refresh of it to be like more beefy. But I don't know. Like we'll kind of see. I also find it funny how everyone thinks the Steam Deck is gonna like destroy the Switch, and I don't think that's gonna happen at all.
Nah, because
And I don't agree with the people that on the flip side of that are like, oh, the Steam Deck is useless. It's got no use. It's like no, I don't know about that one. I think there's use cases for the Steam Deck. I think you can find pretty easy use cases for that.
I do wonder about the Steam Deck because everybody knows that Valve hasn't got the best record on releasing hardware. Steam Link was fine, but it wasn't anything super special. Steam boxes were kind of a failure. Steam controller had some solvable things in the end, but was a failure on its own. VR headset was good.
Mm.
It's still not,
Yeah, as someone points out in the chat, the Steam Deck is a separate market. Um, yeah, it's definitely a separate market. I think that there's different use cases for them. I think, and I'm interested in the Steam Deck just because it would be cool to have like, I can not have the computer turned on and I can just play some games in bed or something, or I could boot up some stuff and have a fun time. Uh, and it seems pretty fine. And yeah, a lot of the Nintendo fanboys have been really they've been coping quite a lot with the Steam Deck, even though I feel like you don't really need to, right? Like
really well.
they both have their own little sections of the market, right? And no one's gonna take your Mario's away, right? No one's gonna take your Switch away.
Yeah,
Because
I so often it's said that fanboys of this or that are mad about this or that or this or those that I don't never really believe them anymore because maybe you could call me a Nintendo fanboy and I'm not
well,
really.
the question is, are you as bad as that dude that Necro covered recently?
Yeah, but you know,
That's because those are the kind of people I'm talking about, right? I'm not talking about like just normal people that like Nintendo or whatever. It's the people that'll be like they'll see something like the Steam Deck and they'll almost be like intimidated by it in a really weird way because it's like, why are you intimidated by this? There's nothing to be intimidated by. Like, what do you want about? Like, what's the dealio here? You know. So yeah. I'm interested in the Steam Deck. All of the like coverage I've seen of it so far from like Linus Tech Tips and whatnot, because he did a really good hands-on impression with it. Everything I've seen of it so far tells me that it seems like it might be quite interesting. I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on like what the NZ price is like, because I've got other stuff that I want to buy. Like I got PC upgrades that I've been putting off for a while that I want to get. So that would probably take
Yeah,
priority.
I have the beefiest PC possible, and I have a Switch, so another third console isn't even if it's a Steam Deck. If it's another PC emulator, I don't need it. I have my games. I have a laptop,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
PC gaming laptop that plays the games that I wanted to play. So
Mm.
with a mouse and keyboard.
Mm. Mm.
Mouse is USB.
Yeah, pretty much. Do-do-do-do. I noticed people have been talking about the new Spider-Man trailer that came out. Seems alright. I haven't watched any of the Spider-Man movies.
Nah.
I've heard like mixed things about them. Like I heard mixed things about the last one and Homecoming. Like they're kind of mixed. So I haven't like gotten. I don't really have anywhere to really watch them. So I haven't like got really watched any of them. But this new one though, because they seem to be doing like the whole multiverse thing, and they're bringing back like the Raimi villains, like Doc Octopus is back and stuff. I don't know. It seems interesting because I grew up with those movies, so it's kind of like, yeah, maybe I'll be interested enough to go see this one. It
Yeah, I'm
might be
not.
good.
For because I was bored, I once legally obtained all the Marvel movies up to the Avenger,
One
the
one
big,
hundred percent, 100% Regal, 100%.
the movies that I didn't watch in theater when I was bored. Um, so yeah, I watched those, skimmed through also parts of him, and then I watched the big Infinity War and Endgame one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the order. I guess kind of like the first movie better than the second. If you
I
watched,
kind of agree. Yeah, because what was it? Yeah, Infinity War and then Endgame. Yeah, I kind of liked Infinity because I liked what they did with Thanos, and then they kind of like retconned that in Endgame, where it's like they took him from being like this kind of interesting sort of like not necessarily sympathetic, but like he has his like ideals, right? And they're pretty understandable, right? You can get why he's doing what he's doing and why he is the way he is.
well, the thing
And then
is
they
that
kind
his
of
motivations are completely his method of solving the problems is completely retarded. It's
yeah, you're not wrong, but it's just what I'm saying is it's interesting, right? He's a bit more interesting than just like a one note kind of villain, I guess.
yeah,
Right?
he
Like
has reasons, but if I'm going to solve. I don't know. I'm going to end all conflicts by raising the sea level 10 meters.
oh yeah, it's
Sure,
Pokemon, yeah.
sure. Well, no, the video was looking at water, so that's the idea.
I thought you were doing about like the bloody Pokemon Team Aqua, because that
Uh,
was literally we're gonna raise the sea levels and destroy all the land so the Pokemon can.
nah, just what the problem that he identified and the solution that he has for it don't match up. So I mean, it's better to have a principled character like that. But if the reasons are kind of dumb, then
All right.
I'm not
No,
going
I
to.
can I can I can I can understand where you're coming from. I mean, I get you. I get you.
And the second movie, was better in his reasoning. If his plan is doomed to fail because people won't accept it, then start it all over from the beginning. That's a valid
mm,
reason. But then
mm,
it's just got kind of tired.
mm, mm. I think with the Marvel stuff, it's definitely there's a lot of like hit and miss. Like some of them are pretty good, some of them are kind of meh. I'd have to like dig through the memory banks to kind of remember because I have good memories of seeing was it Iron Man 2? I think I saw Iron Man 2 in theaters with the boys back in the day, back in high school, which was great, and I had a fun time. So it's kind of like there's a little bit of that going on, but yeah, it's definitely hit and miss. I haven't looked into any of like the new TV stuff that they've been doing, like the Wonder
Nah,
Vision and the
me
and
neither.
the Captain the Falcon stuff. Um, it seemed kind of meh to me, so I don't know. The only real like Disney related thing like that I'd want to watch is Mandalorian because you can't find that easily outside of perfectly legal methods. But I don't really want to do that if I don't have to, and I don't want to have to pay for this shitty ass subscription service. So I just haven't watched it yet. But I wouldn't mind Mandalorian giving that a watch because it seems pretty good to me. Um, I did watch Bad Batch recently, which was quite good. I quite enjoyed Bad Batch. I think I've mentioned that before, but I haven't mentioned it on stream, so I'll mention it now. Yeah, Bad Batch was really good. I quite liked that.
Yeah, I got nothing on Star Wars. It's not a
Yeah, yeah,
it's not a pro.
you're a tricky, so it's understandable.
Well, even if I was watching the Trekkie, I never was attracted to this whole Star Wars thing anyway. And I haven't watched Star Trek in years and years because it's also that. So I'm
Both
as
TV
much a
shows.
Trekkie as I like a Stargatey,
Mm,
whatever the name for that is.
mm.
Have you ever watched Stargate?
I recall when I was younger, it might have been on TV, like
Oh yeah,
a little
sure.
bit. Yeah, like it probably would have been on TV, and I would have like watched it, like just because it was on, and there was nothing else on. So I like, cause I vaguely recall it, but I never like got super into it. There was like a cartoon that I think like I watched a little bit of when I was a
Yeah,
kid as well. There was
I
like a
I,
Stargate cartoon that I watched, which seemed pretty good, but
I
yeah,
think it
I
only
didn't watch a
run
lot of it.
like for 2 seasons or something.
Yeah, it wasn't that long of a thing, yeah. But I didn't mind, yeah, I don't mind Stargate. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot really to say about it because yeah, I didn't really watch it a lot.
Yeah, I liked Stargate when I watched it, and I did a big rewatch watch years ago where I watched the entire series back to from beginning to end.
Mm.
And I kind of like it, but in retrospect, it's it's very much subservient to U.S. military. Whatever U.S. military does, it's good.
US US imperialism.
Yeah, it's kind of
We're gonna we're gonna
imperialism.
we're gonna we're gonna we're gonna go through these play. We're gonna manifest destiny through the Stargate.
Yeah, well, not that because they're good people, but, but their good values are going to be adopted by everybody else because they're self-evident, so better and goodest than what all those other people have thought of themselves.
Mm.
They roll in and suddenly the values that these new people espouse are so good that they are immediately adopted. That
Mm.
kind of, dare I say, problematic
He
vision.
said the word. He said the word. I don't know. I can get where you're coming from, but it's yeah. Yeah.
Nah.
But anyway,
By
but
the way,
anyway.
I do. I do believe this is an appropriate thing to call this problematic because it assumes one culture is better automatically better than the other without a little bit longer of a look. Or
Mm,
even
maybe.
deliberately portraying every other culture to be inferior to your own. That's also kind of sus.
It's kind a little bit sus. Just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit sus. Yeah, just
Yeah.
tiny sus boys. So yeah, I don't know. Is there really anything else that we've got? Kind of, have we running out of topics a
Yeah,
little bit?
I keep trying and failing to make a video on topics that I like. One day
Hmm.
I'll upload the thing.
Hmm. One day.
One
One day.
day, Dr. Stone, maybe an explanation of my isekai timeline thing.
Hmm.
Maybe some
Hmm.
other. Oh, this image again.
Hmm.
This battle is on like thousands of those paintings, and this time it's got a model of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, or maybe this is the battle of this around this castle. At some point, all those battles become the same.
Hmm. Yeah. I haven't really been doing a whole lot. So yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. I guess we could probably call it here then, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been a fun stream, guys. It's been a good time.
yeah.
I hope you guys have enjoyed us rambling for the last like few bits. Um,
I've looked in
chat.
Vita emulation, but I never got it running. I'm interested in Shin Megami Tensei 5, even though I've never played the one before. I liked Fire
Yeah.
Emblem though.
Yeah. Ellie's big on it. Ellie's big on his Fire Emblems. Uh, so yeah, no, this has been a fun little chat. We might do more of these streams. We'll have to see
I
if
was
Lolly's on at
thinking
some point.
about I had a Godly Noita run going, and I was thinking of just streaming it,
just popping that on. Yeah, it's probably
but
not a
then I
bad
died,
idea.
and then the dream was
Oof,
over.
oof. All
It
right,
is how it is.
all right. Well, we'll catch you guys later. Stream. Hope you guys have a good time. We'll
Yeah.
maybe come back at some point and just have another little chit chat. So yeah. Oh, thanks, 50. I mean, our live stream was great, according to our lovely chat members. Thanks a lot. That's great.
The one who he
So,
doubles our viewing numbers by watching something twice.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah. We'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace
Alright.
out.
Sorry to end your fun
Bye.
chats. The stream is going
Yeah.
to end.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye.